There we go. I'm so tired. I would wear my glasses, but they give me headaches. Can't see shit without them, but they give me headaches. I do look like the dude from frickin' what is that? The Twilight series, Aura's like that one guy that one of the three dudes that's with Aura. Yeah, I look like that dude. I look depressed. I'm like fine. Oh, life is such a dread thing. Dude. I almost didn't go live. I hope somebody does come on to give me a reason to be on here, though. Because this will be a long hour if I'm just talking to myself. At least you're here. Yeah. This videotaping existence. Here I am existing. I'm existing right here while you guys decide whether or not I'm worthy of your views. Holy shit. I just need a place to put you while I hit the ball. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, that'll work. Holy shit, that might work.
Nice
What?
evening, isn't it, Lucius?
Cool. Now everybody gets to see me shirtless and weird. Smoking a bowl.
Stupid dog!
The algorithm's not going to favor me.
The things I do for
I live in a
love.
legal state. Things I do for love. I'm a tired boy.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage
They
the
might
Cowardly
notice what we're
Dog,
watching.
starring
No
Courage the
problem.
Cowardly Dog. Abandoned as a pup,
Maybe we
he
were
was
talking
found by
earlier.
Muriel, who lives in the middle of nowhere with her husband, Eustace Bear. But creepy stuff happens nowhere. It's up to Courage to save his new home. Stupid dog.
I can't read shit. I do need my glasses. Guys, look, I got a little. Oh, I can see now. I got a little Buddha bowl. Look, I got a little Buddha bowl. It's a cute little Buddha bowl. I also bought a bowl of this, but what's going on? How many car batteries do I need to add?
A whole 186 pounds. I hear that pigs are better at getting rid of 186 pound chicken.
Yeah, 186 pound chickens are best gotten rid of with pigs because they can digest bone. Quick, distinguished gent.
Which distinguished gent? That was the battery question. The chicken might be dressed. Pigs can eat quite anything.
Chicken might be dressed. Well, I mean, the best part about those chickens is you can take the feathers off and burn them, and then after that, the swine may eat upon the flesh of said chicken and eventually get to the bone.
I don't think they care too much about feathers.
They're willing to eat each other. You know what's interesting about pigs? Apparently, I only know this because of studying cannibals in my odd youth time while I was watching serial killer documentaries. Apparently, human tastes like pork, and it has the consistency of like turkey, like stringiness of turkey. That's information I didn't want to know, but now you know. So. Excuse me, guys. creativity.
Why me?
Oh, and I live in a legal state, and I also am epileptic, so there's that. And I don't know what to think, do you? This is keeping me from having seizures. Okay. Stop smoking, but smoking is bad for you, and that, yeah, you're right. I should stop smoking. I am trying to quit cigarettes, and at some point, I might, quit smoking marijuana if I have my body stop, seizing up on me. That would be nice. I'd like to stop shocking myself to death, in a state of panic and delirium. Good mom. Thank you. Courtney says hi to whoever's here. I don't know.
Hi.
There's a Courtney and a puppy. A puppy and a Courtney and a grinder. And then there's an old Lola coming in. Sorry. House is messy. Me and Courtney had to replace the floor in our room. So right now we're just sitting on the, what do they call that? Is it particle board? I'm not sure what kind of floor this is.
Who's the last one replacing you?
They're pigs for surgery. I am tired though, guys. I do a lot of closing. I've been closing a lot wherever I work, and I did a lot of deep cleaning with the crew. We got a lot of pull thaw done so that the morning crew didn't have to pull anything from the freezer, and we cleaned all the drains and everything. But today I was off. One of my coworkers, she's pretty good at what she does. I have faith that she's doing fine. But it's a good start to work. But my day off I spent carrying wood from my neighbor's house here, and then it rained, and I didn't get it covered.
What you do to yourself?
Dude, fucking the neighbor dude that I cut his tree down for him. It's like I'm not sure what kind of tree it is. I'm not really an expert of Ohio trees. I'm used to pine, I'm used to oak, I'm used to maple, I'm used to, well, I've learned black walnut from up here, but I'm from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so I'm used to like southern trees like water oaks and pine trees and maybe the occasional hickory, a lot of maple. I'm boring as hell, yo. All I do is chop wood and go to work and go home and repeat. It's like it.
This is all your fault, dog. You and that rotten tree. Now I gotta order takeout for breakfast.
I do have interesting shit to talk about, though, I guess. That's like scared me really well. Like, what? Well, they ran away whenever I was smoking the bowl. As soon as I started hitting some weed, everybody was like, ah, you gats.
Do not be afraid.
And again, I am just a boring pothead talking about random shit that he does. It's not really interesting, There's far more interesting things on YouTube than my weird ass.
Anything worth its value is worth fighting for.
Hopefully, some of the peeps come on. We can talk about how they're doing instead of just talking about me. It's not all about me. I actually enjoy talking to like all the people that have come to meet on this live. A lot of random people. We managed to have a weird conversation with the people that came on here about, getting rid of 86-pound chickens. Go.
the pipes are cold.
Puppy's still sleeping on the bed. We're watching an old cartoon that we watched on Cartoon Network whenever we were younger. Me and Courtney are like in our 30s and we're oh, okay. I've never understood miniature toys.
Yeah, it's like a hollow plastic bee, and then there's like a little bird thing that she gets stuck inside of.
When I was a kid and I got toys, I never really played with them. I would just keep them in a box. Most of the stuff that I actually enjoyed playing with as a kid was like basically from 8 years old up till about 16. I was in karate classes, so I had swords and stuff and cool stuff that I could have. So most of the toys that I actually liked were like really, dangerous shit that I probably shouldn't have been playing with. But, what's up? How's it going? Oh, I got a little Buddha ball. See, it has a little ohm symbol in it. I don't know where we found it. I think it was at like the mall. Some mall near us. It was cute. It even comes with its own little carrying bag. I'm gonna put it on the big boob statue I got up in here. My big tittied ashtray. That's my big tittied ashtray. Good. I think it's cool. We got a lot of random shit. Me and Courtney, whenever we get some money to ourselves, we usually buy something on Amazon or we go to like a random mall with the kids from time to time and we find something cool and we just keep collecting random stuff like that. We wanted to like get like shelves or something to put up so that we can put up more of our stuff, but most of it's all in storage. We could build shelves. I like go through so much wood, and a lot of it looks really cool. All we have to do is sand it and stain it, and it would look pretty cool on the wall. We could make like natural wood. That would actually look cool because it wouldn't be like cut into shape. It would be natural. Find some really aesthetic looking pieces of wood and just use a Dremel and a saw and just shape them into something cool. Might as well. This show is weird though. My neck hurts. I go to work at 3 tomorrow, so that's good. That means I can be up for a little bit on the live. Oh, get her done, sir. If Buddha named his belly, it should be named Thomas. Oh, what's up? Yeah. Yoda, what's up? What happened to me? Oh, I don't know. Like, did something happen different than what I usually do? I don't know if I look different or ugly or if, like, maybe I shave my beard, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I shave my beard. I look like a child. Except a very balding child with a huge ass forehead. Look, this is my desperate attempt. Hi, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the chat. No, dude, but look, like, I'm only 30 and I got this freaking, like, narrowing freaking bald spot on my forehead. It's slowly becoming a widow's peak, and then it's going to go all the way back, and I'm going to look like freaking something. I'll look like Hulk Hogan or freaking these people with those bald spots that go all the way back, and I still have long hair. I'll like have it back in a ponytail, but it's all bald all the way back to like here. I might still have the widow's peak, so I could just do a mohawk. Just do like a big old mohawk all the way down and just like put it in a ponytail or braid it.
Because the way it's makes it really complicated. I think that you
She wants me to get a professional haircut. I like my hair being long. I like being long haired, dude. It makes me look like Jesus.
I'm just saying that his long hair pulls his hair down and makes it really
Look flat. It's really flat. Yeah, my long hair kind of like pulls on the weight of my ponytail and makes my hair look extra bald, I guess. Because I yank it back. And I used to have dreadlocks. I was one of those white boy surfer dudes in Myrtle Beach that would always like try to do something different with his hair. And I had a mohawk before. I had dreadlocks. I even had random black girls like try to give me like different like hairstyles and stuff. And they pull on your scalp, dude. Like they ripped out more hair than they got into freaking little braids or whatever. The freaking my scalp was not made for black people haircuts. I just got to be honest. Like those ladies were yanking on my head. It hurt. I gotta be honest. My scalp was not made for that. I got a little baby white boy hair. You know, his hair is not thick enough for the braids that they have to offer. I can maybe do a Celtic braid, maybe. Oh, Viking braids are pretty cool. I wanted to. Now I'm in the food industry for an X amount of time. I probably won't be able to, you know, grow my beard out and do those braids. I would like to do that. I grew my beard out for a little bit, but now I'm doing food. So for the, next remainder of time that I'm with the food industry, I won't be able to grow a beard past like a quarter of an inch, I think, is the rule. Which I mean, I'm not like against that because I don't like hair in my food either. You know, if somebody's got a big ass beard and they're making something, I would at least hope that they would try to like at least wear a mask or something. You don't have to wear a beard diaper. You could just try to wear a mask and try to tuck that shit in there. The best you can. I don't know. Oh, our day's pretty good. It's just I carried wood. I just have a little wagon that I carry the wood with, and I just go down the street. Like there's like an alleyway uh, by our neighbor's house, and we go down that, or I go down that for about like a maybe 2 blocks, and then there's this old black dude that's one of our neighbors who seems really cool, and he had a tree that he needed me to cut down for him and chop up. That's what I was doing on the live the other day. And I've been piecing up that wood and taking it home in the wagon, and I've been doing it slowly but surely. And since I've been working the past week, I haven't had enough time off to actually do it. So tonight now, but earlier today, I had a bunch of wood that I gathered, and then it decided to rain on me halfway through it, so I had to leave all the rest of it for another day because I don't like the rain. I don't know why. You would think that my weird pothead ass would like enjoy the rain, just sit out there and just be at peace with it. But for some reason, my autism screams at me when raindrops hit me in the face. That's one of my weaknesses is rain, like just pelting me, and unless I have to be out in the rain, I can be out in the rain. But if I had a choice, you know, I'd say no. I don't like when my hair gets wet because I smell like wet dog. I'm white. I, I thought it was fun. Low key though, if white people don't like bathe themselves properly, they do smell like wet dog. I kind of do have that must. Oh, yeah. Our garden's doing good. We have a couple of things growing right now. We have some tomatoes that are growing. We have basil that we're already able to pick. Um, we have some green beans, which I affectionately call the diabetic Hispanic plant. I think that's a funny joke. Um, uh, uh, it's it's funny. It's a terrible joke. But we have watermelons too, and we have cucumbers and stuff. We got a lot of stuff we're growing, and our garden's doing well. We haven't watered it once. We just let nature. And do it. Nuclear Stitch. Oh, I didn't see that. Hi, Nuclear Stitch. Welcome to the chat. I'm tired. I am a tired boy, y'all. I can't see without these glasses. If I didn't have these on, I would just be like putting my forehead into the camera trying to look at shit. I need to get new ones that like fit my face better because these definitely have stuck up asshole written all over them. And I would rather have different glasses, I guess. They look less crooked too. They're a little crooked because I keep stepping on them. I even fall asleep with them in the bed and I'll like roll all over them, and then I'll get up the next day and be like, oh shit, my glasses. And they're still surviving. Nothing short of a miracle. Your phone's yelling at me. Oh, Wingstop. I haven't been to Wingstop in a while, man. I used to go to Wingstop all the time. What do we have? We had like well-seasoned broccoli. I don't know what it was, but it was, yeah. Oh, she made pork ribs, broccoli, and mashed potatoes. It wasn't just like raw, gross broccoli. She actually flavors her broccoli with love, and mashed potatoes are great, and pork ribs are great.
Broccoli because that's like my kids' favorite vegetable.
Yeah, our kids like are the weird kids that actually enjoy their vegetables and like love them.
I have to cook so much broccoli.
Yo, neat. I need some weed, I guess. 1 second, let me set you down for. Oh wait, I can do this shit. What am I doing with my life? See, I really am already high. Asking me to smoke more. I'm in Ohio. I have epilepsy. I'm allowed to do this. Keeps me from shocking myself to death at night.
You're right. You are a failure.
Watching cartoons. I'm 33 years old and I'm watching the cartoons I grew up with. Maybe it's nostalgia. I do it a lot. I think I'm good. I keep forgetting that I'm like live. That's how good I think I am on the bowl. I literally keep spacing out and thinking I'm just talking to you and forgetting that I'm on the live. You need some advice? Well, Courtney's here to keep me more sane, and I can do what I can if it's helpful. I have advice if you need it, I guess. I'll do my best. She'll probably give better advice though. Can't even stop smoking cigarettes. Oh, look at the hard copy that we have of this favorite movie, one of our favorite movies. Studio Ghibli is like amazing, and this is one of Ivy and Courtney's favorite movies. And we got a hard copy of it, thanks to James. Actually, we miss you, bud. If James is out there saying this, we miss you. But yeah, he got us a hard copy of this. Studio Ghibli movies are the best. Working with people just okay. Well, I have issues with anxiety at work too, and sometimes I also do that shutting down thing where, like, I get paranoid and I have issues thinking that people are either out to get me or trying to mess with me because of trauma responses. And it's difficult sometimes with people at work with anxiety. I The best way I usually handle workplace anxiety is I try to coach myself before I go into work. I look at myself in the mirror and I like try to tell myself how the day is going to go, regardless of how I'm feeling. I'm going to make it better. I try to like get control of myself before I go into the situation and sort of like make a weird game plan. That would be weird advice, I guess, but work anxiety is real, especially if you dealing with so many different people and or depending on what line of work you're in as well, it could be really shitty people that you got to deal with. He does sell cars, so that's not good to shut down as a salesman. But you feel overwhelmed, I assume.
Well, you always have to remember in those situations that if you didn't care what somebody had to think when you woke up this morning, that you shouldn't care what they think when you go to work.
Yeah, we try to like hang. What do they call it? Hang up your personal effects at the door and don't let stuff in. Like emotionally, you're not shutting down. You're kind of going into sociopath mode, is what I call it. I call it, or letting the spirit, customer service spirit, take over. You gotta kind of like channel. You gotta separate yourself from your work. Social anxiety is. I use my anxiety as fuel. Like I focus on a task at hand that I need to do, and I like do that like the best of my ability, and I try to like stay focused on that, and it's like channeling. I don't know how to call it that, but my the way I would do it is channeling.
And essentially, you let the customer service spirit take over and you let your work do the talking. You don't have to shut down, but you don't have to make friends. And just remember that, a lot of them you're never going to see again. It doesn't really matter what happens. And just do your best every single day. You haven't really been doing the car sales thing very long, from what I can remember. Because I think you just told us a little while ago that you were going to do that, right? I could be wrong.
Courtney has issues with social anxiety more so than I because I'm a bit of a. You guys have seen me in action. I'm pretty. I have issues with detachment. I detach a lot. I have issues with detachment, and I think I understand what you mean by just like spacing out and becoming somebody different because you need to like back off from the anxiety because it's too much.
Well, and
I
that's
don't
a
know.
good thing. You can see it as you're building relationships because you're trying to place people into something that
Yeah,
they're
building.
depending on, they're placing their safety on, and they're going to rely on hurtling down the road at fast speeds and thousands of pounds of metal. I mean, but you don't have to stress too much because if you know that you're doing your best for them and that you're doing everything you can to place them in something that is going to be reliable for them, and you're going to get them good deals, and you're doing actually a good job that you know how to do, then you don't have to worry because everything else is going to come with that.
One thing I think most people are remembered by keeping their word. Not everything goes according to plan, but if you do your best to fulfill your word, people will remember that. And you seem like you care about building relationships with your clients, so I think your worst enemy will be overthinking. Like, I think you might. I'm just spitballing here. I don't really know. I'm asking. But if you let personal interactions get to you in a very deep way, you feel like it's overwhelming you and causing you to shut down. And if that's the case, you just got to learn how to control that intake of personal information. It's okay to depersonalize from time to time just to get your bearings, as long as you don't make that a habit as well. It's just really difficult to get the hang of that kind of thing, if so. What really it is like you just gotta. My advice is to kind of like, I always tell myself, Tommy, you got this. You put yourself down too much. You're a hard worker. You always think that people are disappointed in you, and you're always trying to overachieve, and you just got to get this because you got this. You know what you got to do, and I just coach myself like that in the mirror. Also, try to give yourself rewards like throughout the day, like little rewards for the good things that you do. Look at things that you would compliment yourself for so that you can reinforce positive behaviors. Because one thing about overthinking is it eats away at you slowly. Like, because it's like a slow death. Like, you're slowly critiquing yourself and never giving yourself a break, and that weighs on you eventually. I think the worst part of an overthinker is they never think they will. There's always something they missed, you know.
Sounds like a train. Must be a train station. Come on, let's go check it out.
You did that to get outside your comfort zone. It's not really for the money. It's more or less something to help make you better. You're trying to work on yourself and use that as an outlet or a means of forcing yourself into a place that you would not yourself be comfortable with. I didn't want to get back into the food industry, but I think I did the same thing as you did, Yoda, because I got to force myself to be social. The more I distance myself from people, the colder I think I get towards people. And I don't want that. I want to be better. And I think that we might have in common it, trying to get outside your comfort zone is the best game plan. Actually, that's the roadmap of which I try to follow, is to make each day something new, something a little bit more difficult, carry something a little bit heavier, take on a task extra to see how much better I can do to help people and stuff. It's a good roadmap to live by, but it can also be a downfall if you beat yourself up too much, because you got to give yourself some pat on the back. You got to tell yourself that you got this, because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're trying to just give to people and do your best, all you're putting out is you're putting out. But you got to take in something. You got to enjoy yourself. You got to do something outside of work that is not work related at all as a hobby. I usually try to pick up a hobby when work feels like it's getting too much. I don't know. I can only tell you based off my experience what works for me, but overthinking can be good thing because that means you're ahead of things. You always have a plan, but it's also can be a bad thing for you if you don't give yourself a little okey doke every once in a while. Tell yourself it's okay, you're doing fine. Re- Reinforce positive behaviors not only towards other people, because that's what being social is, but if you just got to take care of yourself. You got to give yourself time, do stuff that's good for you, and not just do it about everybody else because you'll burn yourself out like that. If you only focus on making other people happy, you'll burn yourself out and you'll the less you take care of yourself, the less you're able to take care of others. It's basically the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Look at this. Hello in there. Does anybody work here? Come on, Jim. Looks delicious. Anybody? Don't worry. We can pay the bill.
Yeah, you sound good. You sound like
That looks great.
you have a plan. That's the point, is that overthinking is about you need I'm glad that you have coworkers like that that are reinforcing, saying you're going to be fine, tell you that you're just overthinking. That means that you have a pretty good net of coworkers to basically keep your dander up, keep you moving towards a positive end. Because if you have those negative people around you that just keep reinforcing the bad, then it gets worse. So it is good that you have coworkers that seem to do that. That's the one thing you gotta break, even though you want to be a more social person. At the end of the day, you're the one with your thoughts. At the end of the day, you're going to be there at the last moment with yourself. At, at the end of the day, you got to live with the behaviors that you act towards, and you can't string up everything on what other people think, because everybody thinks differently and you'll never please everyone. Nobody in this entire world, no matter how good or great they ever were, completely satisfied everybody in their life. There are going to be people that are disappointed. They're going to show certain behaviors, and you can't let those in, or it's going to eat you alive. You can't please everybody, even though you would love to.
That's weird.
But that just shows that you have strong moral fiber and good character, and you can use that to your advantage as long as you don't let it take advantage of you.
It's a bathhouse.
It's not a bad thing that you care what people think. It's just how you allow yourself to allow things to happen. What you allow to happen based on your concerns and cares should not damage you. It should only give. And if it's not giving back to you either, it's not good. You know, being awkward in public, at the end of the day, you and I both know that that's vanity. And it's not disrespect to you, my friend. I have vanity issues all the time. I'm always wondering what people think about my shift. If people are talking bad about me, what could I have done better to make that situation better? Or what could I do to not be so, Well, that's good. You seem to like your job, and I think that's where we're different, because you guys can probably tell I'm not ecstatic, but I'm not upset with work. Well, also, if you're a salesperson, then you kind of got the wit to know what's going on. You have to be witty to charm people into everything to get it done, I bet you know, I bet you give advice. I bet you are good at giving advice to people, but not so good at using said advice for yourself to make it okay. That's one thing I think I do, is that I'm good at trying to tell other people what they can do to make things better, but I don't use them myself from time to time. I think really at the end of the day, what the people at work are saying is true. you're just overthinking things, and I think you're gonna slowly get a hang of this to where you feel pretty chill at your job. Sorry, I smoked some weed before this, so you asked me for advice at the most terrible time. You're good. I'm messing with you. That's fine. I'm just messing around. I do babble on a lot when I get high on weed, by the way. As soon as I started to shut down, I asked my computer to help me with the deal. I work with amazing people. It feels weird having all this love and support. Well, that's imposter syndrome. You don't feel like you deserve where you're at. You're at a place that is great and everything's going grand, and you're just worried that something you're gonna do is gonna mess it up. And I think a lot of people suffer from having imposter syndrome in life, where they don't feel like they deserve to be where they're at, but they do. They put themselves there because of their actions, and they just can't believe that they're there, and that's just something to work past. It's gonna, everything's difficult at some point in life, but it's doable. I think you got this. I'm pretty sure you got this, my friend. Especially if you say the job is like that chill, like the people are that supportive. You know, it is weird to have support when you're not used to having it in life, and it's contributes to that imposter syndrome because you believe yourself to be that past self where you convinced yourself you're not worthy of something that you really are worthy for. You did it. You got there. Oh, you're good, Vent. I think I'm venting too because I was trying to do comparatives to with mine to see how that might help because I only really know life by the perspective that I have. I don't try to use other people's perspective. I try to just give my honest opinion. And I'm not always good at that. Sometimes, you know, I talk too much, but I try to help the best I can. I think really what people really want to do is just vent. That's what I was trying to say is that I think everybody kind of vents. I vent, Courtney vents, even the dogs vent, you know. I see the dogs like chewing on something and it looks like they're trying to, you know, destroy a toy. I'm like, dang, is that how you really feel? You know? Or Lola will like get all sassy and grunt at us whenever we like move the wrong way. I'm like, is that how you feel? Yeah. Yeah. But everybody needs to vent, let it out. Sort of like an emotional punching bag. You just kind of open up to people and people that are willing to, you know, hear you out, get through that storm, then everything's back to normal. Hey, Oak. We're chilling. We're watching, I guess, the remainder of a show that we used to watch when we were younger. I'll just say it. It's Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm not really playing too much out loud, but I'm not showing it on TV either, so hopefully they won't copyright me. Oh, it's going good. I carried some wood from my neighbor's house today. I went in great detail earlier about how I did that, but it's really just me taking a rolling cart that I can put the wood on and carry it back and forth. But then it rained afterwards, and then me and Courtney went to the store, and we went to the dispensary to get medication, essentially, which is weed. And I smoked some, and it was good, and I decided to go live and talk to my peeps. By the way, I don't really smoke weed too often. This is actually the first time I've actually been what I would call high in a while. I usually just take a few puffs off of this just to like chill out my nervous system so I can get some sleep without having a seizure. You know. CBD, yeah, I have a lot of friends that you do use CBD for anxiety because they don't want to technically have THC because of their jobs and other things. CBD does seem to help. It's just there's some concentrates and stuff where they, bless you, where they isolate certain things that are good for you, and like there's ways of like adjusting the CBD chemically, I guess, in certain ways to like make you more chill, I guess, without it actually giving you any THC in your system. They got that shit down to a science now. You've been listening to Mommy? Oh yeah, yeah. Umami's got music too. He's he makes his own music and all that. I like it. It's pretty interesting. Right now we're watching. I didn't know if you were on, but we're watching something that we used to watch on Cartoon Network all the time. Me and Courtney like watching old nostalgic cartoons that we like grew up with. I wouldn't even call them old. I would just call them us old, I guess. It's hard to call yourself old with a straight face when you're watching cartoons as an adult, you know? It seems a bit redundant, you know, calling yourself old whilst watching cartoons. Oh, it's Kurt's Cowardly Dog. It's not really that old at all. Actually, it's just early 2000s. But me and Courtney are, I'm 33 and she's 32, so we're not really that old actually, but we keep calling ourselves old. We may not be old, but we sure should feel like it. Do you have a lighter, Milo? When things quiet down, go out to the back gate. Go all the way down the stairs. She stole it. Restart the fires. There, you'll find Kamaji, thank you, Mama. The boiler man. Kamaji? Tell him you want to work here, even if he refuses. Uh-oh. No, we're watching a Studio Ghibli movie right now, I guess. Are we? No?
It was.
You were?
And then you kept saying how we were watching Couriers and stuff. Like, oh, I guess we really want to watch Couriers.
I don't have to.
Now it's already back up.
No, you're good. We can watch Spirited Away. I want to watch it. It's good.
Oh my goodness.
Captain, we found it.
Oh, yeah, we're still young. I mean, I did grow up watching older cartoons and stuff like Betty Boop, Popeye, and old Mickey Mouse cartoons, Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, all those. Looney Tunes. There's some interesting cartoons. I grew up around way older people. Like me and Timmy were the youngest, and like our siblings. Timmy's passed away, but our siblings are like in their 50s and 40s. You know, and they're, you know, our parents were like they would be in their 70s now if they were alive, and grandparents were like 86 when they died in 2013. So we grew up with them. Most of the stuff that we actually watched were like hand-me-down VHSs. We didn't even have cable for a while because my grandparents were, they didn't, you know, want us manipulated by the television, I guess. Oh, Tom and Jerry. Oh yeah. There's a lot of like, I like some of the older stuff like that's way older than my generation. I like watching that stuff because it shows like the culture of people at the time, you know. It's interesting. Oh, there's some funny ass hella racist frickin' Disney cartoons and old Looney Tune cartoons. Like they were terrible. They were horribly racist and like very culturally inappropriate, like for whatever we would call today.
How about you, dog?
Yeah, once they started making cartoons politically correct and they had to like censor each other for what they said and like
For your kindness.
worrying about how they're going to affect children and everything. Tom and Jerry cartoons, they were drinking alcohol and smoking cigars and stuff and all kinds of very violent references and everything. And now everybody's like, oh, that's too much. You can't do that. But the cartoons that they put out there are low key, like gross and pedophilic, and it makes you want to like find whoever created it and put them in a wood chipper. You know what I mean? Like, some of these cartoons are highly inappropriate visually, but too politically correct otherwise.
Your sky shall be dark as your heart.
Like, there's some cartoons out there right now where they literally have like, I'm not hating on people, but there's like transgender, like freaking sexual references and like very odd, you know, Pixar is going a little overboard. A few other, places is, you know what I mean? Like if you watch them and just look at how like oddly sexual shit is, it's kind of disturbing, you know.
Eustace Million. For the picture show. Eustace, the cars.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Disney does that a lot. Like it's kind of upsetting, you know.
There ain't gonna be no party.
I mean, I was born in 1992, so that means whenever I was about a preteen teenager, SpongeBob came out. And I don't know if you remember SpongeBob, but there was a lot of uncomfortably sexual things and weird. Here's one episode. It was SpongeBob. He was trying to get Gary to take a bath, and he was in his bathroom, and he was trying to like trick him. He was like a pirate or something. And he's like, "Hey, look, Gary, it's treasure, it's treasure," and it's the bathtub painted like a treasure chest. And he's like, "Look, doubloons," and they were bars of soap. And he said, "Don't drop them." I'm like, that's a "Don't Drop the Soap" reference. He just did a "Don't Drop the Soap" reference. I shit you not, word for word. I'm like, no. As an adult, I'm picking up on these weird little jokes that they put in cartoons that I grew up with. I'm like, oh, that was fucked up. I mean, it's funny. As an adult, I'm just all you can do is laugh, but there's also creepy undertones. Peter Pan is a pedo. Yeah, he basically would. Yeah. Lure kids and shit. Like a lot of the old Disney cartoons were kind of really creepy, actually. If you really think about it, like those seven dwarves weren't just chilling with Snow White out in the woods without doing something freaky. There were a lot of weird undertones. And why did Porky Pig walk around with no pants on all the time?
You can't move it with this curse. You're going to have to sleep on the roof.
Jesus.
No such thing as curses. No way, no how. Hey, my glasses.
Oh yeah, when George Carlin explained the 7 words you can't say, like ever or whatever. He's like, there's some things you can say on TV, and there's some things you can't say. And it's like, oh, you can say the word bitch if it's a dog. Oh, look, Johnny, there's the bitch. She's in heat or whatever. But if you call somebody, tell somebody they're a stupid fucking bitch, that's not okay. You can't call them a bitch. It's different. What was it? Shit, piss, fuck, cock, sucker, and motherfucker. and twat, I think. He had a few extra ones, you know. I like George Carlin. Oh, he was brilliant. I like George Carlin. He was very intelligent and a bit nihilistic. They could say nihilistic. They could say he was stoic. He basically looked at the world from like an outside lens, like he's watching it like a TV, like just taking notes, essentially saying that the world's like a freak show. And when you're born in America, you get a front row ticket seat, essentially, and stuff like that. I love George Carlin. He got really in depth with really philosophical and political matters to where he was like king over everyone that he spoke with. His logic was infallible. I liked it in 2008 whenever he was like really old right before he died, because that's whenever he died. But he, God rest his soul, by the way. But he, he was like talking about death and euphemisms and everything, and I love George Carlin, how he like is so wonderfully sarcastic and witty about certain things. Like people will say like during a death, they're like, I think he's down there, or I think he's up there now, smiling down on us, and I think he's pleased. He's like, apparently it never occurred to people that their loved ones might be in hell. I like that one where he's like, I think he's down there screaming up at us, and I think he's in severe pain. He's like, apparently it never occurred to people that their loved ones might be in hell. Parents in hell, your father for sure. Oh, hell's full of dads, full of dads. He said, yep, that dad that he went to hell for kicking the shit out of you one too many times, even after he took you to the ball game, and for fucking the neighbor lady, and fucking the neighbor dog, and who knows, maybe even fucking the UPS man. We'll never know what mischief Dad was up to. I loved his jokes. That was one of his bits. I like George. He always like goes on a tirade, but it always like makes sense and locks in. Like he has a good segue with his jokes. I like him. Yeah, I like the way you put that. Yeah, he could speak very intellectual things, but in layman terms, so that he could simplify it and make it make sense. I like how he explained, like, he's like, this country has been bought and paid for a long time ago. This shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a damn thing. It gives us the illusion that we have control. They're all on the same team. The game is rigged. The table is tilted. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. He said, it's called the American dream because you got to be asleep to believe it. He had some witty little anecdotes. And he was very, to say the least, very intelligent. Yeah. I think he would even. He's been on a few of those shows and stuff. He's been on Bill Maher. He's been on Letterman. All these different ones. He was all over the place.
It's so hot. My head is burning. Where's your hat? I don't have one.
He's argued with Christians, rabbis, priests, and Muslim people, everything. He's literally talked to every different type of person that could have an argument against his ideals, and he would crush them with pure logic. Yeah, Bill Maher, I like him, his sarcasm. I like him. He's kind of got like a campy way about him. He seems like he's, not to insult him, but he seems like an old campy gay guy that's just like clapping back at people with sassy wittiness, kind of. He might be straight for all I know. I don't know, but if he's not, he's got that sort of vibe. I like him. I like Bill Burr. I like a lot of comedians. There was Patrice O'Neill. I liked. Not a lot of people like Paul Provenza, but I think that his little green room thing where we would get comedians to come in and talk shit to each other, I thought that was cool. I like Ron White. I'm even one of those people that got into frickin' what's his name? Well, I also watched all the other blue collar comedy people like Bill Engvall and Larry the Cable Guy and Jeff Foxworthy and all that crap. I like Dave Chappelle, he's funny. I like David Cross is funny, oddly related somehow. Quit biting your butt, Stella. I'm gonna put a shirt on you. You're gonna be a sweater pup. There's a lot of comedians. Cat Williams, he's funny. Though I kind of did see what Cat Williams was talking about whenever he's talking about, like, I did used to like Cedric the Entertainer, but he doesn't really do much comedy now. He just did a little bit of comedy and then stopped. Frickin' what's his name? Steve Harvey. He's funny, but in like a really cheap way. I can kind of see what Cat Williams is talking about, how they have like their little club thing going on, or like join together and work together to build each other's career, kind of thing. I could see Cat Williams' point of view, I guess. I think it's funny. Oh yeah, Bill Burr, he's hilarious. I love Bill Burr. Something about people from Boston, but they have that sharp, I don't give a fuck kind of mentality, and sometimes just a witty observation can cut right through a person's armor. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter how full of shit they are. Like a person that just has striking common sense and a strong will to point out the obvious. Like somebody like Bill Burr, just chef's kiss. It's wonderful. It's funny. He's a funny individual. But then again, I say that most people from Boston have that kind of attitude because they grew up in that sort of environment where people basically show affection through dominance. A lot of Italian people, And Italian Irish is Boston, essentially, right? Essentially. Jim Brewer, too. Oh, yeah, Saturday Night Live. Freaking, I liked watching Will Ferrell on there with Christopher Walken. The freaking cowbell one will always be funny because it's a classic, but also it's just like, hey, I got a prescription, and I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Like, he was hilariously annoying. He did his part. Will Ferrell's hilarious. I like Chris Farley too. I miss Chris Farley. Grew up with him. There's a lot of old stars like John Candy. He's no longer. He's been gone for a while, but I liked his movies. Some comedians became actors, and some of them just, chilled wherever they were at. More cowbell. No.
We will be right back.
Uncle Buck was a good movie. We grew up watching Uncle Buck. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Remember that movie? He was like a salesman. Yeah. I love John Candy. Friggin' even Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey started off in comedy. He's from Canada. I like that one joke that he told about Canada. He's like, "Wow, Canada must be cold." He's like, "Yes, Canada. It is a frozen, hostile wasteland, and there was much work to be done if we were to survive the elements. First, we had to bore a hole through the ice to find food, and my good friend Nantuk and I built an igloo to protect ourselves from polar bears and flying hockey pucks." That was my favorite skit he ever did, and I to this day is my favorite. Frickin' Chris Farley with David Spade and Tommy Boy, that was funny. They made a sale, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy, Richard, hold me." And he like ran away. He's like, "Don't run away from your feelings." Movies like that made a good time to grow up, I guess. It was what kept me going whenever the family was falling apart. Movies were, you know, funny movies to be precise. No, I know that was the scene in, yeah, they were in the bed cuddling together, and he was like, "It's between two pillows." "Those aren't pillows." And they got up and like shook themselves off, and they're like, "Yep, yep." And they decided to split up and go somewhere else to sleep. I think somebody else slept in the car, and one of them slept on the bed. It was a funny movie. "You want to hurt me? Go ahead if it makes you feel any better. It's okay. I'm an easy target. Yeah, I talk too much, but I also listen too much. I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. I like me. My kids like me, because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get." Movie references. The Nantuk, yeah. "Then we got a lot of beers. And then when my friend Nantuk was ready, he would tell me the story of the great moose who said to the little squirrel, 'Hey, phone decided to do something stupid. Sorry. System update is trying to do something on my phone. I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know what phone battery life I have." Oh yeah, he did. He did freaking. He could like morph his face to look just like Jack Nicholson. It was hilarious. I can't do it, but he freaking like Jack Nicholson has this weird eyebrow raise thing that he does with like a really like he could like morph his face to look just like him. He did a lot of impressions though. It's funny. Clint Eastwood. "You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you? Punk." He would do all kinds of impressions. I loved it. Yep, Jack Nicholson. He was. What's interesting is that I love Anthony Hopkins and I love Jim Carrey, but Anthony Hopkins doesn't like Jim Carrey, and that upsets me in a weird way. I don't know why. Jimmy Stewart. It doesn't matter what Jimmy Stewart's doing, he could always make it positive. He could be like,
Your son better be back here.
well, looks like we're going to have ourselves a nuclear holocaust. Hey, everybody, come over to the window. Look at that mushroom cloud. Isn't that beautiful? And the amazing thing to me is that something so colorful, so magnificent could just melt your face right off. Says, I loved him. That was one of his better comedy skits. I like Jim Carrey. He did so many awesome scenes in movies like Liar Liar. He literally beat the shit out of himself in a bathroom and smashed his face with a toilet seat. Literally, like, fucked himself up just for that scene. It was great. What a beautiful mushroom cloud. He would too. Somebody like Jimmy Stewart could always take something, turn it positive, be like, hey, good. Well, it looks like somebody's cutting my throat right now. So beautiful. I am tired. What time is it? One what? What? 1:10. Sorry, y'all. There were other comedians who were going through a list though. Who was it? Frickin'. I like Dave Chappelle. He's a very intelligent young man. He's an old man. He's way older than me. He lives in Ohio too. We went by one of his houses. It's nice.
We will be right back.
Get ready. Best summer ever. Check this. Right now, every game is a 1 point play. Play all the games you want and score new odds and prizes only at Chuck
Three, two, one, and we're back.
We interrupt this program to bring you Courage, the Cowardly Dog Show.
Oh yeah. He was definitely very. He was the most expressive artist I think I've ever seen. Jim Carrey puts his heart and soul into everything he does, and he's definitely not a shy guy. Hey, Seabass, welcome. I'm just sitting here reminiscing on. We're just sitting here reminiscing on freaking old comedians and stuff. I wouldn't say old, but comedians. I do remember watching Red Fox's comedy skit. He's funny. He's funny as shit. Red Fox from Sanford and Son, I think. Yeah, I think that was his name. Oh yeah, Dumb and Dumber was a funny movie. Oh yeah, I like Red Fox. I like listening to. What the hell's his name? Black comedian with a mustache. He was around the same era as George Carlin. You remember? His name's on the tip of my tongue. Somebody's got to say it. He's really famous. He's like up there with the goats of like comedy. No, Will Smith. You did it, yeah, Will Smith. Richard Pryor, thank God. Yeah, Richard Pryor. Thank you. Richard Pryor was back in like the 80s and stuff like that. That was back when frickin' Eddie Murphy and his brother were like just getting into comedy and stuff and all that. It's one of the goats, one of the old, well, what I would call old. Yeah, Richard Pryor was funny as hell. He he definitely took his comedy in a very sharp but very effective way. You know, I was back in the 70s and 80s, so he was back in the cocaine phase. He was ahead of his time. If he was alive today, he would be on par, if not still better than a lot of the comedians today.
He did have a mustache in the 80s.
Yeah, he had a mustache in the 80s. He was still. He was also born in like the early 70s or late 70s. I'm pretty sure.
This looks great, rubber mashed potatoes. Hey, Uncle Twinkletoes, do your dance.
Uncle Twinkle Toes. Uncle Twinkle Toes and Mama Mashed Potatoes. Remember that?
Hello, operator. Get
Basil.
me, please. Hello? Hello? Oh, not even a speaker.
Yeah, Uncle Twinkletoes, show us how it's done. Snippy time, snippy time.
Yeah, he had a stash.
Oh, you so happy. I can fly.
Why are you making a mashed potatoes? You always make your specialty.
Mashed potatoes isn't a specialty.
Of course not.
All right.
I'm hungry. I'm probably gonna hop off here in a little bit soon to go get something to eat. I also need to work tomorrow. I've actually enjoyed going live and talking with you guys. You guys are really laid back and chill, and it's good to, you know, talk about whatever's going on in our minds. Kind of, we're all around the world, but we're all talking at once. It's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah. Did you put in the secret special ingredient?
Oh, secret ingredient?
Oh,
What's this?
Oh.
Secret special ingredient?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. It is kind of chill. I try to be more interesting, like show people more shit that's going on.
the plan.
Oh, I could show you guys like my current wood pile because I took half of it to the backyard. I'm gonna walk outside and show you guys that real quick, and then I'll probably head off. I'm gonna use Courtney's phone as a flashlight because I can't see shit out there. What? The light. And down goes the phone. It's not raining. Cool. Whoa. That vine just came out of nowhere. Thought it was a freaking spider web. Alright. Holy shit. Look at my current pile of wood. It's right beside the garden that we have. This is, oh wait, I can show you the garden. Our tomatoes are growing pretty good. We haven't really watered them. We let nature water them. We have our basil. Wait. We have our basil right here, our basil. We got fucking pea plants right there. We got watermelons over here. We got plenty of different bean sprouts and stuff. We got marigolds and basil out here to kind of like keep the mosquitoes and the other pests at bay. Look at that shit. I don't want to carry that shit to the backyard. Here's our dead car. We're getting a new one. I don't really go out here and show you guys shit, but Courtney's, yeah, she put it together, this little miniature garden to basically get a frame of reference of what we're working with, that's our little pond. That's a gas pump or gas tank. We're lazy. I'm lazy. She actually gets stuff done though. Made a little rock wall for it. Our tomatoes are growing good. We're probably gonna have like over like 60 pounds of tomato just from this and the second harvest. I think a lot of tomatoes. Tomatoes. We got a lot of lamb's ear that keeps growing up around here. Look at that. Lamb's ear is like a really soft freaking plant. I don't know if you guys have it in Canada, but yeah, a fucking little dungeon. Dong dong dong. We got a freaking bamboo freaking wind chime in an old box, freaking mailbox. Yeah. There we go. Ah. There's a spider on me. Hi. Huh? 1 minute. Bye. Hi, pup. Boom. I just harvested peas, strawberries, and broccoli and the other day. Yeah. Ours, we kind of started late. Like, we planted all that about, like, maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. It's going pretty well. So, Courtney's, the system that she set up is basically meant to, like, grow without us touching it. The soil's fine. We haven't watered it. We've had, you know how tomatoes are, like, really whiny for water, and so are cucumbers. Just fine. Watermelons, doing good. We should be able to get a couple watermelons. We're not really, experts at growing everything. We're learning as we go. But tomatoes are good. We might make a bruschetta. 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 Oh yeah. I don't think anybody stops learning till we die. You know, that's kind of like how it goes. We just keep learning each day. Pineapple? I don't know if we can grow pineapple up in Ohio. We could try to do avocado, but that takes a couple of, it takes a lot of avocado plants and knowing what you're doing. Yeah. Quit biting your butt. Ooh. We are gonna grow. What were we gonna grow? We're gonna try to grow more like beans and stuff like that, for like protein and shit. I think that's what she wanted to do next. We're gonna try to, get grant funding and everything, and get our work with like the local city and stuff, and see what we can do to like make different community gardens around the area, and make more scalable models for our project. You know. In Canada, we have pines and we have apples, but we don't have pineapples. Well, we're like maybe an hour away from Lake Erie, which is where. Mavis, stop it. They're biting your butt. I swear I gotta put a sweater on. I work at 3 in the afternoon, but I also got daily chores that I do. You know, so got stuff I gotta do. I guess I do need to get some sleep though. I need to get something to eat first though, because my stomach's punching me. Hey, we love y'all. We love you too. I'm actually probably gonna head off. It's been nice talking to everybody. I will try to go live tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I will. I close tomorrow. It's 10:30 whenever I close usually, and we're usually out at 10:30. So, or we close at 10. We're usually out at 10:30 or 11 the latest. So, yeah. Ooh. Well, much love to you guys. Let's all have fun at work, and whenever we get back off of work, we can all come back together and chat. Hope everybody has a good evening, day, wherever we're at, and you know. Love to you all as well, bros. Everybody have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. And we got this, y'all. Hey. Oh, wait. Peace. That used to mean radical, and now it means call me. It's weird. I don't know. Peace. Love to you guys. Sleep well, you guys. Yeah.